Hey everybody, don't get anxious, get prepared. Your career engineer right here. Thank you for watching the replay. Thank you for catching us live. So today we're going to be getting into all things talking about in case you missed it, it was on LinkedIn. They talked about their top 50 jobs. And I hit some of this on television in one of the broadcasts we did earlier, but they ranked some 50 companies across the nation that are good places for you to not only get hired but to grow. And there was a couple of unique things about each of these 50 companies, excuse me, and just kind of worth talking about because even if these companies are not in your area, this would be a great place for you to, let's say there's an industry that's similar or the same in your area. As you're having your interviews and you're having doing your job research and you're doing all the things to help you to find the best place, you might want to compare and see what's up, see what's hot and what's not. And these companies, I think, really did some things. I was also very impressed that a lot of them were not all tech companies, which is encouraging for the non 100% technology based company. I mean, or companies that provide tech solutions, I should say. Tech is a part of all of our lives, so you better get used to it. But it was nice to know not everything was high tech. So get your pen, get your paper, digital otherwise ready. We're going to have this really cool conversation as we talk about that this what they call it my top picks of the best companies in the USA for you to grow your business. So I mean, or grow your career. Did I say business? I'm telling you, it's Monday, right? So listen, don't go anywhere. I'm going to be right back. Should I edit this part out of the thing when I don't know what I'm doing with my little buttons? I've got a new toy. I got a magic track, and I'm really trying my best to learn how to use it. So, yeah, we're going to get into the conversation because these companies are really cool. I may be able to share some screen with you as well. So, again, you're watching us. Remember, catch us 12 noon live on whatever platform you're looking at, but make sure you subscribe so you don't miss anything. Very important not to miss anything that we're talking about here because it's very important. We're with you, every single Monday at 12 noon, talking about the things that are really important to help us grow our job. So this LinkedIn report was pretty, incredible. Everybody was the chatter has been the career spaces about it. And they kind of they did things a little differently this year. In fact, let me see if I can do a quick screen share with you and let you guys. Well, I'm gonna get to that in a little bit, but I want to share so you can know if you're not on LinkedIn, which number one you should be. Okay, I mean, how many times have I said that since I've been sitting here with everyone? Like, get on it. I mean, and be more than just on it, but like, really be a part of it. So check this out. So if you are there, this is a great article. I mean, we're all talking about this 2021 50 best, and you'll see lots of some really and it counts it down. I mean, of course, hello. All right, hello. But there's lots of you can check out each company and see what makes them how they get on this list, which I think is very, very important for what was it about certain companies that got on the list. So if you're on LinkedIn, you can definitely check that out. So here's one of the first things that I saw that was impressive as I studied the list. And again, 50 out of the hundreds of thousands of companies in America. So this always makes us wonder. So as I got there, I thought about what was one of the unique things that these companies did. Now, remember, if you're watching us now live, you can always comment, you can share your questions, you can network, you can drop your LinkedIn URL, you can say, hello, career engineer, what's going on? I'm happy to talk to you. And of course, I'm looking forward to your questions and comments as we're together here. But here's a couple things that they all did that was different or how they were ranked, okay? All of them, in addition to being able to, get the best talent, hey, these guys are big wigs or what have you, instead of just attracting talent, these guys have shown, particularly with last year's scenario, okay, 14 months ago, how in tough times what they did. And in some cases, some of these companies prior to the tough times of 2020 also had demonstrations of this particular asset. And what was it? They invest in their talent. Okay, so not just enough. Oh, we're some big name company. We're hiring 100,000 today. We're going to hire. It was okay. Okay, you hire them. That's great for recruitment. But what do you do for retention? How are you investing and the people. And every single one of the companies here have done so. And we're going to share again some of the assets of some that have. I mean, in fact, let's see. Let me see. There was a couple of them. I want to definitely drill down and share some things that some of them have really done. So they've invested in their talent. And the other side of the house with these companies, and again, if you don't have that link, I mean, if you're in LinkedIn, you can Google. I mean, you can probably Google top companies LinkedIn report and find it, but it's really substantial right on LinkedIn. I would really advise you to check them out. But they also built solid career pathways. So if you start here, there's an already defined path in addition to your own grit, your moxie, your mojo, because you need that too. But they have defined paths for you to grow. So not just get hired and stay at a certain place for 20 years, but with your own steam, you can also move up. And that's incredible. So those 50 companies all have that. And they're ranked by a couple of different things. You know, they were looking at advancement potential. So not just with the last 14 months, but in some historic, you know, looking at from back then, from back then till today, and then, you know, future advancement, how folks, you know, how did you move up? What type of, how do they help you to grow your skill? And as you know, last year, the last 14 months was a big shivet, you know, to see what skills, essential skills, and what can keep a company sustainable, meaningful, and maintainable. And there was different skill growth. And some companies invested in their people to get those required skills. Stability. What did these companies do, not just 14 months ago, but 5 years ago, to maintain stability, right? That they make sure they're a solid house to stand by. We also saw factors they were ranked in, such as diversity, their position on diversity, and platforms with that, of course, outside opportunities as well. As you know, we have our 9 to 5, but there are some companies who have a really sense of community culture. There's some companies that do things even outside the walls to improve the human condition or the places and spaces that they're near. And that was a big piece of advancement as well. And as well as, you know, corporate affinity as well. So they were all ranked in these different areas, and that's what got them on the top 50. So here's a couple things just to show, just to put it out here. Some of the big ones, the big, you know, big tech, no doubt, was in the house. You know, let's face it, Alphabet, which is the parent company of Google, number 2. I mean, number 2. What do you guys? I mean, it's number 2. It's Google, which makes you wonder who's number 1. But if you saw the list, you saw that. So JP Morgan, a financial, you know, powerhouse. Why? Well, the PPE loans, you know, they were big dogs in helping with that, and some other things in wealth management. Apple, number 8. I mean, come on, it's Apple. Let's get it straight. But number 45, you know, UPS, you know, why? Well, all the, you know, come on, all the logistics and supply and things of that nature. So all of these companies have identified those 7 areas I talked about. They've invested in their talent. They have solid career pathways, and they were ranked by advancement, skill, and corporate stability, and more. It never fails, does it? Whenever I'm doing this at this time, the spam phone rings. Hint to entrepreneurs: if they're going to call you, give them a number to call, but you don't have to answer. That's where I come from with that. All right. Now, in my local area, and some of you, some other places that you may have these companies, some of these DOD companies, or they do government business. I'm in one of the biggest military veteran populated areas. So companies like Siemens and Northrop Grumman and Lockheed Martin and General Dynamics. Well, General Dynamics actually wasn't on the list, but Raytheon Technologies. If you have an affiliate or a regional office in your neighborhood, well, these companies met the cut. They also did the work that needed to be done to rank on the list, and that's pretty incredible. So all these companies, since this report came out, have gotten a boost, right? Some extreme visibility boost, as well as some extreme career recruitment boost. So it's all been pretty good. But let me share with you some here's why for a couple. Like, for example, Walmart. And I talked about Walmart just a little bit. Let's face it, some of these retail, and there's several retailers on the list, but Walmart, I think, is number 9. Ranking in the top 10 is pretty incredible. Let me tell you why they're ranking in the top 10. According to my research, and of course, what's on the list, Walmart has over 2 million people that work for it. I mean, worldwide. However, Walmart gave 600,000 of their staff a raise. Particularly, of course, with things that happened about 14 months ago. And that was pretty impressive. But they've also increased their full-time staff to now 66%. And I think in the previous years, it was around 50 some odd percent. Their hot jobs, of course, all things fulfillment, okay? All things online retailing, operations and replenishment managers are some hot things. Of course, they've got the direct in your store, the folks on the front line, the stocking, the cashier. They've got management opportunities as well. But again, when it was a tough time, they upped the ante and increased pay for lots of their folks, particularly at those fulfillment centers as well. They really put up there. So that helped them to get ranked number 9. Of course, Walmart has a strong community investment. You've seen that they do a lot of support in their local neighborhoods and their local communities as well. So they get a big one on there. So if you're thinking of Walmart is Walmart. Let's all know it. It's the famous Walmart. But they're, from a business standpoint, it appears they're doing the right thing in terms of recruiting and retention, in terms of investing in their people and having solid career pathways. Here's another one that I think, again, it ranked in the top 5, in the top 10, but Bank of America. Who knew, right? Because I think they had some brand control they had to deal with a few years ago with the housing market. But Bank of America, what's up with them? They have 213 staff working for them. Let me see. I have all kinds of notes over here, guys. Want to make sure I want to give you the right stuff. But again, I encourage you, LinkedIn, read the report for yourself. You might see a company there that really stands out for you. But 30,000 employees worked on the PPP loans, right? Those PPP loans that we all had. So that was a significant deployment to making sure those loans were done the right way. Hot jobs with Bank of America. Come on, it's a bank. It deals with money. So fiscal or financial management are big deals that they're looking for. Analysis, investment specialists. So they also recruited and did good retention there. So they ranked number 5 on the list. But there are so many others. There's another company I was pleased to see. I think it was number 11, that there was another healthcare company it came on a number, and I'm trying to recall its name. But one thing I had liked about, first of all, it was a healthcare company that was finally recognized. Companies like CVS were also recognized. Target is also in the top 50 as well. So I was pleased to see, obviously, those were essential companies, pharmaceuticals, healthcare. So number 11 was a really substantial healthcare company. So if you're in the healthcare arena, again, you might want to look and see, well, what did these folks do that others didn't to make them kick the list? So for example, number 34 was a company called HCA Healthcare. They did no layoffs. They didn't lay off anyone. And in case you're not aware, there were hospitals that had to let people go, had to do some furloughs, because remember, when COVID showed up, they couldn't do elective surgeries, and that's some big money for these systems. So for an organization to not lay folk off during the toughest time, that says something too about investment. But that particular company, they did 100% base pay to quarantine workers, and they paid for hotel stays for frontline workers who need to go home. That was, I don't know how many other healthcare companies did that, but they did. So that's what helped them get ranked. So if there's an HCA Healthcare somewhere near you, they're number 34 on the list. It might be one you want to check out. Of course, here we go. There's another one. Who's the number 1? Who made number 1? Go figure, right? Amazon, according to LinkedIn, is the number 1 of the top 50 in this report, right? And I know Amazon has been in the news for all kinds of things with labor lately. But here's why they ranked in terms of this report as number 1, Amazon. Based on me alone, they probably should have hired about 10,000 people, but in terms of all the deliveries I get from Amazon. So there's over 1 million people that work for Amazon. Remember, Walmart has 2 million, though, just in case to do the comparison. But they hired over 400,000 folks in the last 14 months with all that went down in 2020. And they encourage, according to the report, internal mobility. Of course, their hot jobs are learning manager, because people had to learn quick, fast, in a hurry. Believe it or not, there's a health and safety specialist opportunity. Again, some of this is corporate Amazon, but some of the jobs they're looking for. Now, you know why that's probably showed up, right? And of course, all things operations, station operations managers. Whether you're part of their delivery partnership programs or all the other places where they insource and outsource the business of logistics, the business of distribution, the business of supply, the business of e-commerce, right? Getting it to you right, the right way, quick, fast, with quality, makes them number 1. Now, so I really suggest, again, that you check out this report for yourself. Look at all the good things that's in there. The top 50 is the top 50, and you'll find some surprises there as well. But there's a couple of real estate companies that even ranked in the top 50. So you want to check it out. So again, I'm pleased that it wasn't just all the big techs, just the Apples and the Googles and that type of thing. The Googles, Apples and the Googles. How did I pluralize that? But the bottom line is there was a spectrum of other initial, technology-based only kind of companies who serve, cybersecurity only companies, stuff like that. It was some other companies who, of course, use technology to get the job done, but they serve in other markets. So I think it's a pretty impressive report. Again, I would say check it out yourself. It's always good to check things out yourself. In the meantime, if you're checking things out yourself, make sure you check us out, at tcenow.com or mytcenow.com to find out more about our TCE network. Again, I thank you so much for being a part of our live and checking us out later right here while we do our fresh new content every Monday at 12 noon right here, the same station, the same time. So you guys be blessed. If you have any questions or comments, I encourage you to post them, and I will reach back and respond. I tend to respond to every single one. And as I can, of course, but also go to our website, tcenow.com. You have a contact form where you can reach out to us. Or guess what? Click, it's called a phone. It works. It's called a telephone. Who knew a telephone even works as well? So again, you guys have a fantastic week. Thank you for allowing me to chime in and share some news with you. In the meantime, you have a blessed week. And remember, make it purposeful, make it powerful. Don't get anxious. Get prepared. Thank you, and have an amazing week. God bless.